There's no 80 way to say this, but I'm leaving you for another man.
Are you serious? We're on our anniversary trip.
Our anniversary trip was supposed to be a new beginning, a chance to reconnect. But from the moment we boarded the plane, I felt a chasm opening between us. My wife, Sarah, looked distant, her eyes glued to her phone, a world away from me. I tried to bridge the gap, asking about her day, about the book she was pretending to read. But her answers were short, clipped, like she was swatting away a fly. I told myself she was just tired from the travel, that the stress of the past few months was catching up to her. But her silence felt heavier than exhaustion. It was a physical weight in the small space between our seats. When we landed at the resort, the warm, tropical air did nothing to thaw the iciness between us. She walked ahead, her pace quick, as if she couldn't wait to get away from me. The bellhop struggled to keep up, but she didn't look back once. I followed, a growing dread tightening in my chest. This wasn't just fatigue, this was avoidance. That night I clung to a sliver of hope. I booked a romantic dinner by the beach, a table set under the stars with candles flickering in the gentle sea breeze. This was our thing, these grand romantic gestures. I thought it would soften whatever wall she was building, that the familiar magic would bring my Sarah back to me. But the woman who came down to meet me wasn't my Sarah. She wore casual shorts and a simple t-shirt, not the elegant dresses she always chose for our special nights. There was no makeup, no effort. Her annoyance was a tangible thing, a storm cloud hovering over our candlelit table. I took a deep breath and asked the question I was terrified to ask. "Is everything okay?" She finally looked at me, her eyes cold and clear. "No," she said, her voice flat. "I don't want to pretend anymore." My heart tightened, bracing for impact. I knew what was coming next, yet I was completely unprepared. "I cheated," she said. The words hit me like a physical blow, knocking the air from my lungs. The gentle sound of the waves crashing on the shore suddenly became a deafening roar, the soundtrack to my world falling apart. I just sat there, frozen, unable to speak. She continued, her voice gaining a strange, detached confidence. She told me she'd met someone months ago, a colleague from a work conference. She said he made her feel alive, a word she practically spat at me, as if alive was everything I wasn't. She didn't want to be tied down by someone so predictable, so safe. Like me, I finally found my voice, a weak, hoarse whisper. "Then why did you agree to this trip? Why come here with me?" She shrugged, a gesture so casual it made my blood boil. "I wanted closure," she said. As if our marriage was a business deal to be finalized, my mind was reeling. "Are you ending our marriage?" I asked, needing to hear the words. She nodded, her expression unreadable, devoid of the emotion I desperately wanted to see. No remorse, no sadness, just a cold finality. "I'm leaving you for him," she stated, as if discussing the weather. I stared at her, this stranger wearing my wife's face, and felt a profound sense of dislocation. Who was this person? Then she started listing his supposed virtues, each one a dagger twisting in my heart. He was spontaneous, exciting, adventurous. He took her on last-minute trips. He wrote her poetry. In contrast, I was steady but boring, reliable but dull. She needed passion, she declared, not comfort. She took our 8 years together, our shared dreams, our inside jokes, our quiet moments of contentment, and she rewrote them all in a single, brutal breath. Our history was now a story of her sacrifice, her boredom, her unfulfilled desires. I didn't argue. I didn't defend our life together. What was the point? She had already tried and convicted me in her mind. I just listened as she dismantled our past, brick by painful brick. Then came the final, devastating blow. "I'm moving in with him as soon as we get back," she announced. A cold fury I had never felt before began to rise in me. "Did you plan all of this?" I asked, my voice dangerously quiet. "Did you bring me here just to hurt me like this?" She had the audacity to look offended. "No," she said. "I wanted to be honest. I need to follow my heart." Her heart. I excused myself from the table before I said something I couldn't take back. I walked along the beach for what felt like hours, the cold wind a welcome shock against my skin, trying to cool the inferno raging inside me. The man she described, this boring, predictable man, wasn't me. It was a caricature she had created to justify her betrayal. When I finally returned to our room, she was gone. A sick curiosity took over, and I checked her phone's location on our shared app. It pinned in another building at the far end of the resort. He was here. He had come with her. The realization was a fresh wave of nausea. I didn't follow her. Instead, I sat down on the edge of the bed and called my lawyer. I explained everything, my voice steady and detached, as if I were talking about someone else's life. By morning, the draft for the divorce papers was sitting in my inbox. She returned to the room a few hours later, acting as if nothing had happened. She said she'd fallen asleep on a lounge chair by the pool. I didn't bother calling out the lie. I just forwarded the email from my lawyer to her phone. I watched her open it, her casual smile faltering, then collapsing entirely, her face drained of color. "What is this?" "You're being dramatic," she stammered, a note of panic creeping into her voice. "We can talk this out. You ended our marriage last night," I said calmly. "There's nothing left to talk about." She turned pale, truly seeing me for the first time since we'd arrived. "You're not really going to let me go, are you?" she asked, her voice a desperate whisper. I looked her in the eye. "You already let go, Sarah, long before I did." She started to beg, pleading with me not to make any rash decisions. "I already made my decision," I told her. "I just didn't know it until you showed me who you've become." Her composure shattered. "Do you hate me?" she cried. I thought about it for a moment. "No," I said, and it was the honest truth. "I feel nothing for the person you are now." The fight went out of her. She tried a new tactic, trying to convince me the other man wasn't serious, that it was just a fling, that she didn't want to lose everything. "You already have," I said. "You lost me." At checkout, she reached for my hand, a desperate, reflexive gesture. I pulled away. The ride to the airport was filled with her sobs, the sound hollow and meaningless. She was crying for what she had thrown away, not for what she had done. I just stared out the window, watching the clouds drift by, feeling a strange sense of peace replace the storm inside me. As we landed, she begged for more time, for a second chance. I turned to her and said, "Time doesn't heal lies, Sarah. It just exposes them." She signed the divorce papers 2 days later. The man she left me for, the spontaneous, exciting man who made her feel alive, blocked her number a week after that. She tried calling me again and again, leaving tearful, rambling voicemails. I never answered. Moving on wasn't easy. There were days of anger and nights of profound loneliness. But loving the woman she had become would have been impossible. Sometimes the greatest revenge, the greatest act of self-love, is simply closing the door she left wide open and never, ever looking back. Thanks for listening. If you've been through something similar, know that you're not alone and you have the strength to walk away too. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories.